Thank you so much for attending my presentation on the most infuriating team style in VGC, and first we need to discuss a very important mechanic, flinching. Flinching is a move effect that, when it activates, prevents your Pokemon from moving. Obviously, this is absolutely insane. Being able to completely stop a threat in its tracks can swing games. Thus, it's given out carefully is to avoid overly broken moves, and you know what? Sometimes flinch can be pretty cool. My go-to example is Fake Out, which both has priority and a 100% flinch chance. This move is extremely powerful, but it has drawbacks. It has to be used on the user's first turn on the field, does very little damage, and doesn't work against ghost types. Can it be amazing? Sure, but it's also surprisingly balanced. Sadly, not every move works like this. Many other moves instead give flinching as a secondary effect, but tethered to a random chance, often 30%. While not too high, this is still relevant enough to come into play often and completely changes the game. Our two flinch abusers are Hisuian Arcanine and Moltres Galar, both of which use these moves to commit crimes. Rock Slide and Fiery Wrath are attacks that both have the 30% flinch chance. Where this gets really wild, though, is that they both hit opposing Pokemon, giving you double the targets to stop from moving. Clicking one of these moves against two Pokemon that haven't gone yet without any modifiers gives you around a 50% chance of flinching something. That's kind of insane value, especially since they're not weak damage-wise either. These two Pokemon are the best at spamming spread flinch moves, especially since their other traits aren't bad either. Hisuian Arcanine has Intimidate, one of the best abilities of all time, but also possesses amazing Fire-type stat in Flare Blitz, Priority, and Extreme Speed, and an absolute nuke in the 150 base power Head Smash. Moltres Galar, on the other hand, has Air Slash, Snarl to lower special attack stats, and fills out its moveset with your choice of Terra Blast. Each dish out massive damage, which is only buffed by the choice items that they almost always run. Suffice it to say, these two are terrifying. But how do you get the maximum value out of Rock Slide and Fiery Wrath? Well, as it turns out, there's a pretty good answer. I feel like I've been talking about Flutter Mane a lot recently, which is for a good reason. It's arguably the best Pokemon in the format right now. With its insane speed, special attack, typing, and supportive options, it offers a ton of value to nearly every team without having many weaknesses. Here, its move of choice is Thunder Wave, inflicting paralysis. This status condition halves the affected Pokemon's speed and also gives them a 25% chance to be fully paralyzed and not move. Do you see where we're going with this? By paralyzing your opponents and clicking a flinch move, your opponent basically flips a coin on if they get to move or not, which is completely absurd. Add in that we're playing doubles, and the odds that one of your opponent's mons flinches shoots up. It's entirely possible to completely lock down an entire duo, both flinching over and over again while they get chipped down. The reasons why you'd want to use Flutter Mane for this task are fairly simple. While it doesn't have priority, it's so fast with a booster speed energy that unless your opponent sets Tailwind and has a quick mon of their own, they aren't outrunning it. This combined with its Fake Out immune ghost typing makes it extremely consistent. If it wants to paralyze something, there's a very good chance it does. Flutter Mane's other moves let it excel even further in this role. Icy Wind offers even more speed control that affects both Pokemon if you need it. Either Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam deals great damage even when uninvested, giving your opponent less time to get out of the paralysis lock. Taunt sees some play to shut down opposing disruption tools such as Spore, and of course, it's Flutter Mane. If you need to change things up, it has near infinite options to choose from. So what teams do you run this on? Well, I guess first, what flincher should you use? Arcanine is more popular as its Intimidate and more tolerable matchup against Raging Bolt and Flutter Mane is really nice, but each do see play. Funnily enough, teams often opt to run Moltres and Arcanine side by side. Trying to break through both Fiery Wrath and Rock Slide at the same time is not fun. Nearly all builds with these two run Ogerpon Wellspring and Raging Bolt, which mitigates several massive flaws. Ogerpon is a fantastic defensive redirector, shutting down tons of stuff that can beat Arcanine and Moltres. Urshifu Rapid is a big problem spot, as both Rock Slide and Fiery Wrath hit it for resisted damage. Ogerpon makes the bear and other offensive problems like Ursaluna sweat. Raging Bolt helps out on the speed side of things, being a consistent attacker that doesn't really need to go fast. If you're playing against a team that you can't comfortably outspeed with your flincher, Raging Bolt's combination of Bulk and Thunderclap let it shine. The last spots are pretty flexible with there being a lot of different options. However, you generally want strong, somewhat bulky threats that can take advantage of speed control. Pokemon like Rillaboom, Landorus Incarnate, and Urshifu get the job done pretty well. Teams with either Arcanine H or Moltres G have gotten a few top 8 performances from Dorian Kang and William Brown alongside several other top cuts. This team, though, while having a crazy upside, is admittedly prone to inconsistency. Both Moltres and Arcanine get outclassed on their own, not holding up to their competition, and heavily rely on their teammates for support. And even when they do get online, there's always that chance that the opponent just doesn't flinch. Despite how frustrating this strategy can be to play against, users have to be very careful as it's easy to let games slip away fast. In conclusion, Hisuian Arcanine and Moltres Galar are some of the scariest and most annoying Pokemon around. By combining their spread flinch moves and Flutter Mane's paralysis, they can make it very difficult for you to even move. However, there's a lot of risk with this strategy, making it tough to actually pull off. Thank you so much for watching.